and you got a whole lot of energy.
Virginia Tech has won the toss. They will defer. And we're going to see that West Virginia Mountaineer offense right out of the gate. Kyle Lowe set the kickoff. Jeremiah Aaron deep to receive. We're playing football here at Lane Stadium in Blacksburg, Virginia. Lewis, let's bring out J.T. Daniels and this West Virginia offense that has been high-flying since we saw them in Week 1.
Look, J.T. Daniels, we all know about him since he came out of high school, two-time Gatorade State Player of the Year. This guy was 7-0. His record was 7-0 when he was at the University of Georgia. He's a guy who just hasn't been able to stay healthy, but Graham Harrell said, look, we think he has exceeded expectations as far as what we thought he would be. He's even better than we thought. Well, he's going to need to be tonight because he's up against this crowd and this defense. Let's see what he's got.
1st and 10 at the 25. It's Mathis in the backfield early for the Mountaineers. Quick throwback to Bryce Ford-Wheaton. As Dorian Strong on the tackle in a short game.
That's exactly what Virginia Tech needs to do when they run those wide receiver screens. This experienced secondary needs to get these guys on the ground. No run after the catch.
That's O'Loughlin splitting out again. A quick throw to the right side. Caden Prather. And a nice game for the Mountaineers. And a gain of 6, bringing up a 3rd and short.
And you see, Graham Harrell just trying to get J.T. Daniels settled in. Just run a couple wide receiver screens, get the ball in the hands of their big playmakers. Bryce Ford-Wheaton isn't the only guy. Look, Caden Prather was a 4-star recruit when he came out of high school. He can go too. These guys are both capable of taking it the distance anywhere on the field. It's going to be important for Virginia Tech to make sure that they tackle and run to the football with good run entry angles.
So Lewis, here we go, early 3rd down, and it's C.J. Donaldson, the true freshman, checking in. He swings out of the backfield. J.T. goes that way, and a great job by the Hokies defense. Nasir Peoples forces him out of bounds. West Virginia going to punt.
You will see number 5 all night long. Nasir Peoples, you're going to see him just come down into the curl flat area. And you're going to watch, he's going to read this perfectly. He's going to play with patience. You see him, he's tracking him the entire time. Good, solid tackle. They get off the field on 3rd down. That's exactly how Brent Pry wanted this defense to start. Lean on the strength of the football team, the defense.
So Oliver Straw to punt for the Mountaineers. DJ Harvey deep. And he's going to fair catch it. Just on the other side of the 35-yard line and a punt of 36. So here come the Mountaineers, and Grant Wells, the transfer from Marshall, grew up knowing about this game because Lewis, he wanted to play for West Virginia, started his career at Marshall, settling into this offense.
Look, Grant Wells is someone who is supremely, supremely talented. He was the 2020 Conference USA Freshman of the Year. He has got a howitzer of an arm. He can run, he can get out on the perimeter and become a run-pass threat. And they're going to need to lean on him tonight, Matt. He's going to need to make some plays against this against this West Virginia front that can really get after the pass.
He's got the benefit of Keyshawn King back and healthy. First pass incomplete. Intended for Jaden Blue. Marcus Malachi Floyd on the tackle.
Marcus Floyd in coverage for West Virginia.
Check that Marcus Floyd on the coverage. That's the aforementioned Keyshawn King. Lewis, he's the home run hitter this offense has been waiting for. Out last week to precaution. This week they expect a full go at him.
Yeah, look, Keyshawn King is a guy, he's not that big, only 5'11", about 190 pounds or so. But I'll tell you, he is hard to bring down, gets a lot of yardage after contact, and if he breaks onto the second level, it's bye-bye, man. This guy will take it the distance. It'll be important for West Virginia's front, Jordan Jefferson, Dante Still, Sean Martin, the entire group, to make sure they are gap sound and don't let him get to the second level.
Third and long for the Hokies. Wells, time, across the middle. Caught in a first down. That is Caleb Smith moving the chains for the Hokies.
Caleb Smith has been a steady producer so far for them through the 2022 season. Leads the team in reception yards. You see him just run a shallow crosser coming across the field. Nice secure catch. Run after the catch. Pick up the first down.
Quick shot again over the middle, again to Smith. Smith's had some injury issues the first couple of games. He's left the second half against ODU, and Wofford banged up, but they feel he's looked as good in practice and ready to go.
Yeah, look, I mean, he is just steady, nice and steady for Grant Wells as far as presenting a big target, sure hands. You see him there just find the zone void against what West Virginia likes to run, which is a cover four. Like a two-deep shell that you see on Sundays in the NFL all the time. Nice job.
That's Chance Black, the ball carrier, and West Virginia's defense does a nice job to corral him, and a loss of one. That's Lee Koba, one of the leaders on that Mountaineers defense.
This is the guy who Jordan Leslie, the defensive coordinator for West Virginia, told us earlier in the season, he is the leader. He is the signal caller. He is the guy, the man in the middle that needs to play a great game every week. Because of his responsibilities against the run and the pass, and you see there, he diagnosed the play quickly, got downhill on it. That's how you play middle linebacker.
Another third and long. Wells takes a shot downfield, has a receiver. It is incomplete. That intended for Christian Moss, who had 5 catches last week, covered by Wesley McCormick, and a good job by West Virginia's defense. They'll force a punt.
Hey, look, they have some great athletes in the secondary for West Virginia, and Wesley McCormick is one of them. He's a transfer from JMU. We saw him week 1 against Pittsburgh. He got ejected from that game for a targeting call, but this is a guy who has tremendous physical skills, someone who the defensive staff really likes as far as his man-to-man coverage ability. And those are the kind of plays they expect him to make.
High snap to Peter Moore. Does a great job corralling it to get the punt off. And I tell you what, you want to see what Virginia Tech special teams in a nutshell? High snap, corralled, out at the 1-yard line, and a beautiful punt of 48.
That's exactly what you want. A game like this is going to be all about field position, right? You see who's going to blink first. Well, Virginia Tech is playing to their strengths. Now they have West Virginia pinned deep.
First time since 2004, we're back in Blacksburg. The give up the middle. West Virginia starting this possession at the 2-yard line. That was C.J. Donaldson.
Look, they know coming out of here, they're probably going to try and get some breathing room. You see they play a little bit of an 8-man front, single safety in the middle. Just try and make sure they can keep West Virginia contained. See if they can keep them pinned down in here on this side of the 50. Let their offense go back to work. That's a good start. Now you got second and long.
At first possession for West Virginia, 3 plays, 3 passes. That's their first run on the night. And again, it's Donaldson, and does a good job getting some breathing room. A missed tackle there by Nasir Peoples, bringing up a third and manageable.
There, what you see is C.J. Donaldson's shiftiness, even though he's 240 pounds plus. And Nasir Peoples had a clear shot of him in the hole. You see him just sidestep him and be able to gain some yardage after that initial tackle attempt. Look, number 12 is a problem, folks. He is a problem. He's going to be a problem for every defense that goes up against him. And West Virginia is Virginia Tech is one of the very best in college football so far through 3 weeks, but they're going to have their work cut out for them tonight.
3rd and 4. Daniels off his back foot, gets it out of the backfield. Another missed tackle. That's Armani Chapman, and a first down, West Virginia.
There, now you're seeing C.J. Donaldson catching the ball out of the backfield. And then just make the defender miss. Nice job by J.T. Daniels, getting him the ball out on the perimeter. And then again, you see big man go to work. Armani Chapman, got to keep his head up, got to see what he's going to hit. You cannot give this team yardage after the catch like that, or yardage after contact.
Daniels fumbles the snap. finds Bryce Ford Wheaton wide open in the boundary, and another big gain for West Virginia, 13 yards. And Lewis, that's the good JT Daniels right there. Composure, find your star receiver.
Well, this is what Graham Harrell, the offensive coordinator, was talking about when he said that we think he has even exceeded expectations. This is a guy who you didn't see any panic. He just tried to gather himself, gather the football, get back to the middle of the pocket, scan the field, and look for his home run hitter in Bryce Ford Wheaton, who comes up with another big play.
Flag on the play, and Daniels is just going to throw that one away.
Yeah, I think you're going to have a bunch of holdings. It just depends. Take your pick of who you want to call it on. I saw
holding, number 74, offense, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still first down.
It's our referee, Scott Campbell, a Big 12 officiating crew tonight. We'll get into Campbell's story because every time he's officiating a game, people want to know why the ref is so jacked. We'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah, you just see James Gamitter here at the left guard position. He's just going to grab the pass rusher and just pull him down to the ground. Josh Fuga, you can't get away with that. Look, penalties and turnovers. That was the thing that Neil Brown told us you can't continue to do and expect to win games. That's the kind of thing that's not going to make him happen.
Quick shot out to Mathis. Virginia Tech's defense there initially, but Mathis, a nice job to get around to the outside. And a gain of 3 forced out by Cole Nelson.
A nice job by Caden Prather of blocking on Amari Chapman out on the perimeter that allowed Mathis to get around the edge and gain some positive yards. What you like here about Graham Harrell is that, look, he is mixing the pass with the run. He knows that this team has some good playmakers, and he's trying to make sure that everybody gets some touches. Try to see what Virginia Tech is trying to do schematically to take the things the way that they do best.
Daniels going to take a shot. Bryce Ford Wheaton there, flag on the play. And that's going to be on Dorian Strong. And there you go, Lewis, talking about taking the shots downfield to find the star receiver.
Look, Bryce Ford Wheaton.
Pass interference, number 44. Defense, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic, first down.
One of the toughest things for a defensive back to do is when a ball is underthrown is to not panic and try to eliminate as much contact as possible as you're trying to find the football and play the football so you don't get called for pass interference. And right there, you saw Dorian Strong grab Bryce Ford Wheaton as he's trying to look back for the football. Look, it's hard to do. It really is hard to do. Been in that situation numerous times, but that's usually what happens.
And Lewis, that was on 2nd and 17, moves the chains, gives him a first down. Daniels over the middle, and a good shot, finds Caden Prather. And now the Mountaineers getting a little bit of momentum and a gain of 16.
It's a nice down to sitting inside the zone, Boyd. Finding the soft spot, presenting a target to JT Daniels. Then Caden Prather does the rest. They have the athletes to catch and run with the best of them. For Virginia Tech, it's going to be about seeing the football quickly, getting good breaks on the throw, and don't miss tackles in the open field.
Daniels 6 of 6 to start the game. Ball spotted at midfield. That's going to be Mathis off the right side. Tony Mathis in a big chunk. Gain of 9.
You're going to see the offensive line here. Zach Frazier and James Gamitter, they just wash down the Virginia Tech defensive line and present a nice, easy cutback lane for Tony Mathis to get the ball north and south.
Another flag on the play there on 2nd and 1. Head coach Neil Brown told us in the meetings their offensive line, Lewis, needed to win the matchup with Virginia Tech's defensive front.
And look, they have a lot of experience. All 5 starters returned from the 2021
Illegal
team.
Substitution. Defense, more than 11 on the field. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
The second penalty for Virginia Tech on this drive that's going to give West Virginia a first down.
Well, this tempo can get you out of sorts, man, when you're trying to substitute in accordance with the various personnel groupings you're getting on the offensive side of the ball. And look, it's always going to be frenetic early on in the football game until you get a feel for what's going to happen here and what the game plan is going to be. You just got to weather the storm.
This drive started at the 2-yard line. JT again across the middle. There's the height and the athleticism of the receivers again. That's Prather again. 12 yards, first down.
Nice job avoiding the jam, running the quick slant. Again, just finding that void within the zone, going up high, snatching the football. But this wide receiver core scares you as far as playing man-to-man because of how big and how strong and how fast they are. And if you don't get to JT Daniels, you know that they can win a lot of one-on-one. So you try and mix it up, play some zone, play some matchup zone, send some pressure. You just got to understand, they're going to make some plays. You just got to tighten up down here once you get into the high red zone and then on into the red zone.
Movement before the snap.
Offside, number 45. Defense in the neutral zone, causing the offense to false start. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's Tywan Garbett, who's been injured. He's back in tonight. You know they want him back on defense, but making an early mistake.
Yeah, look, they know that, look, JT Daniels has started hot. Trying to jump the snap count, trying to make sure that they get some pressure on this quarterback, because right now, when they sit in zone, these wide receivers are picking them apart, and JT is having his way with it. Just got to be disciplined and stand in there.
9th play of the drive. Daniels to the end zone. They rule it incomplete, intended for Prather. Has been busy on the drive, and nice coverage by Breon Murray.
Caden Prather again, long, tall, 6'4", 211 pounds. And you see Murray, he does a nice job. Does a nice job of staying in phase with him right here. You see, he looks to try to look back for the football, but continues to just kind of body him up and ride him out of bounds and not give him a lot of room to work with, and then make sure he doesn't make the catch. That's a nice job by Murray of playing one-on-one coverage against one of the best athletes on this West Virginia roster.
And that's Mathis cutting back off the right side. Makes a man miss. There goes Tony Mathis. That's going to be a face mask. And the penalties continuing to kill Virginia Tech on this drive. Jalen Stroman's going to get knocked for a face mask, and it's going to be 1st and goal to go.
What a nice
Personal
run by...
foul. Face mask on 26. Defense. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic. First down.
You see Tony Mathis just jump this ball outside as they secure the edge. You see him stick his foot in the ground and get the ball north and south. Stroman just comes in out of control, reaching for anything to try and see if he can get Mathis out of bounds. Look, again, it's always frenetic early in football games. You just got to withstand the onslaught and try and stay composed.
This drive started at the 2-yard line. 10th play of the drive. Daniels to throw to the end zone. Bryce Ford Wheaton in the back, but he steps out of bounds. Incomplete. Covered by Chamari Connor, wearing 25 tonight. The 25 jersey, a tradition here at Virginia Tech. That's the retired jersey of Frank Beamer. They give it each week to a player to play homage to that special teams havoc Beamer ball used to wreak around college football, so Connor representing that number tonight.
He's just one of their better players overall, Matt. I mean, this is a guy who can play the nickel position, he can play corner, he can play safety, he's a team captain.
Play clock getting late in the game, so Neil Brown's going to use his first time
West
out.
Virginia, first and a half. Timeout on the field.
So what a drive by West Virginia. They moved it all the way down the field. We'll check in when we come back.
Finding the zone holes as far as the receivers are concerned, and JT is just hitting them. He's staying composed. He's throwing the football to his big playmakers. Bryce Ford Wheaton and Caden Prather are the two guys he's going to. Here you see Prather with the quick slant, finding the little zone void at the second level. Catch and run. Here he does it again. Goes up high, snatches the ball out of the air. Finishes with authority. Look, we knew that 0, 3, and 12. Those three numbers, that's Bryce Ford Wheaton, Caden Prather, and C.J. Donaldson. They are the big play component of this offense, and Virginia Tech is going to have to find answers for them.
Virginia Tech would love to keep it to a field goal. Here it's Mathis again trying to spin away from tacklers. unable to do it. And that's Garbutt on the tackle.
That's a nice job of Garbutt closing down on the backside on that zone read. And as he handed it off to Mathis, he did a nice job of cutting him off, making him stop his feet and change direction, and then pursuit caught up to him.
So Lewis, big opportunity here for Virginia Tech to stall this drive of the Mountaineers.
You got one-on-one with Bryce Ford Wheaton here at the bottom of the screen. He's going to get no help from the corner.
That's where JT's going. He goes up top. And West Virginia cannot convert it into a touchdown. Dorian Strong on the coverage. Had the penalty earlier in the drive. Makes up for it there.
But look, Dorian Strong is one of their more experienced corners who plays with real good technique when he's playing one-on-one man coverage. You see the jam right there. That's exactly what you have to do. He tries to look back and man turn it. Then he looks back at the receiver. Forces him out of bounds. Doesn't give him enough room to stay in bounds and make a play on that fade. That's textbook cornerback coverage. You knew that's where they were going, and those are the plays that the DBs are going to have to make all night.
23-yard attempt. Casey Legg has yet to miss a field goal attempt. He does not there and gives West Virginia a 3-point lead. 14 plays, 92 yards, but only a field goal for the Mountaineers.
Tomorrow, Japan, USA at a special
ESPN app. A couple of great running backs in that one, including Braylon Allen out of Wisconsin. Does anyone breed running backs better than the Wisconsin Badgers?
I'll tell you, Jonathan Taylor, Indianapolis Colts fans, you know you need him to get hot, you need them to get going. Not the starts you guys were looking for, but talk about Wisconsin running backs.
Chance Black fumbles it, has a crease. I'll tell you what, that was disaster to nothing inside the 24 for the first time tonight. We say hello to Harry Lyle.
Guys, this Lane Stadium crowd got a little bit more juice after getting that defensive stop. Coming out here, we spoke with defensive tackle Dante Stills of West Virginia earlier this week. He said this is the type of environment that you play college football for. It's something that you pray about. They're embracing it. Even though it's a tougher environment to play in, these guys are looking forward to it.
Harry, thank you. The atmosphere here at Lane Stadium, we were treated to it in the hotel lobby nice and early this morning. And knew from first light to sundown, Lewis, this was going to be something special, and we've certainly seen it in the first part of this first quarter.
Yeah, look, it doesn't really matter if it's a rivalry game or not. This crowd always shows up for this university and for this football team. But tonight it's extra special. When you're talking about regional rivalries, it's always amped up an extra notch. And it has not disappointed.
Malachi Ruffin was injured on the kick return for West Virginia, being helped off the field by trainers. And again, a great job by Chance Black. Fumbled the kick, able to regain it and get the ball at the 23-yard line. That's Connor Blumrick, former quarterback in the backfield. He shifts out to the left. Empty backfield for Wells. That's where he's going to go. Blumrick over the middle. And a nice job, quarterback to former quarterback, and a first down, Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech says what you can do, West Virginia, we can do better. You want to play zone? We'll do the same thing. Take a quick drop. We're just going to sit in the zone voids. And Blumrick, look, he is a big target. 6'5", 6'6", 222 pounds. You play that kind of coverage against him, you'll have a field day.
Another empty backfield for Wells. Quick shot to the sideline and a good catch by Nick Gallo. The tight end has gained some chemistry with his new quarterback. He had 14 receptions all of last year, came into this game with 13, so he's already matched his season total from a year ago.
You can see what Jordan Leslie, the defensive coordinator of West Virginia, is trying to do. Trying to make sure his young secondary is communicating, playing some very basic coverages. And for Virginia Tech, you have to take advantage of it when they're going to sit back in 3-deep zone and just play it nice and simple.
That's Keyshawn King off the left side. A gain of 2, going to bring up a 3rd and short.
Running the football efficiently, running the football against good defensive fronts is something that Brent Pry said they have to prove that they can do. They need to be able to run the football for a good yard per carry if they want to get successful.
Hokies also going tempo here, 3rd and short, and then they back off, and Keyshawn King He's the guy Virginia Tech needs to get going.
Yeah, they just need to get him onto that second level where he can use his speed, use his tackle breaking ability and his shiftiness in the open field. See if they can get an explosive.
Play clock down to 5. Wells to throw, looks outside. It's tipped and caught. Caleb Smith, right place, right time, and a gain of 17. Came off Dawan Lofton, and the Hokies take advantage.
How lucky is Grant Wells on this throw? You're going to see the throw is off target. He's trying to hit Lofton on the quick out. It's behind him, and Caleb Smith, who's been Mr. Dependable, is there.
And Wells had the defender slip, Lofton wide open, and he could not connect. Rashad Ajayi fell, Lewis, and that would have been 6 in a second.
Dawan Lofton is one of the better route runners on this team. Here he's just running a simple go route, and Rashad Ajayi just falls down. You see he's zone turning, meaning he's looking back at the quarterback, feeling the wide receiver, and just gets tripped up and falls down. Grant Wells led him too far out of bounds. That should have been 6.
You hear some boos from the crowd. One of the West Virginia play cards blew onto the field. I can report your weather on the 5s. It is windy here tonight, Lewis, about 15 miles an hour.
And it may have something to do with the off-target throw from Grant Wells, but those are opportunities you have to take advantage of.
Here comes the pressure. Grant Wells gets safely out of bounds after a gain of 2. He was chased by Ajayi on the play.
See, that's something I think you're going to have to see Wells do more and more tonight. Get out on the perimeter, extend plays, especially against this West Virginia defensive front. Sean Martin was tracking him down there. He's not just going to be able to sit in the pocket. If they want to produce some big plays down the field, he's going to have to buy some time and or produce them with his legs on his own.
Under 30 seconds here in the first quarter. Again, movement up front.
False start, number 68. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Got the 5th penalty of the night on the Hokies. It was Caden Moore up front.
Those are the kind of things when you have a small margin of error as an offense against a front that can be as good as West Virginia's is. Those are the kind of things you can't afford, especially when you're moving the football and you got the ball in plus territory now. Got to stay disciplined.
Now 3rd and 13. West Virginia just before this clock runs out. It's Virginia Tech rather. A shot from Wells. And the flag on the play, consecutive flags. Virginia Tech waited till the very end to snap that, intended for Jaden Blue, and Davis Mallinger is going to get a flag for defensive holding.
Pass interference, number 27. Defense, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down. 1 on time down.
So Virginia Tech thought the quarter was over. They're going to do 1 on time down, Lewis, because of the penalty.
Well, there they took another one of their shots to one of their home run guys that they have on this roster in Jaden Blue, the Temple transfer, who quite honestly is one of their faster players. You see what they run what is called a slot fade. He's the number 2 receiver, counting 1-2 from the sideline in. He's got one-on-one against Davis Mallinger, who has a lot of speed himself, but it was a nice route. They've gotten behind this secondary a few times. They just got to hit one of them.
This will be the final play of the first quarter. First carry of the night for Jalen Holston, and he's brought down immediately. So again, a penalty on a 3rd and long situation. This time on West Virginia. Moves the chains for the Hokies. At the end of 1, it's been frenetic. 3-0 West Virginia on top.
I'm the team mascot.
Student section of the year all season long. And I would say this one will be in the running until the season ends. Start of the second quarter, 3-0 West Virginia. 2nd and 10 for Grant Wells and the Hokies. Plenty of time for Wells. Going to take a shot deep. Has a receiver. Caught. Touchdown Hokies. Caleb Smith 28 yards, and the Hokies grab the lead.
Caleb Smith has shown this kind of high point ability and ball tracking ability all season long. You see here, he beats Wesley McCormick. Back shoulder, you see him have to twist and adjust in the air, make sure he gets his foot in bounds. Been saying in this first quarter, these Virginia Tech wide receivers have been getting behind this suspect West Virginia secondary, and finally they connected on one. And that is exactly what defensive coordinator Jordan Leslie of West Virginia was worried about.
Just an impressive 8-play, 77-yard drive, 3 minutes, 29 seconds. As you know, they review every score. Catch verified, extra point attempts by Will Ross. And Virginia Tech has now made a nation-leading 248 consecutive extra points.
Is that unbelievable?
Yeah, especially in college.
I mean, this is special teams year. But look, Caleb Smith is just a great, great story. He's a former walk-on, comes from an athletic family. You see here, Wesley McCormick just starts staring at the wide receiver, staring back into the backfield at the quarterback, loses leverage on Caleb Smith, doesn't play a top down. He allows him to get behind him, can't find the football. And you know this, Caleb Smith has displayed all year long. He has some of the best hands on the team, some of the best adjust on the team, meaning if the ball's not on target, he can twist and contort his body to make sure he gets in a position to finish on the play. And that's exactly what he did right there. That's the kind of play that they needed, because now this wide receiver core that many people didn't know how good it would be has a lot of confidence against a West Virginia secondary that's going to have to settle down and make sure that they play things a little bit more sound.
Short kick and a fair catch by West Virginia, down to Harry.
Guys, Caleb Smith told me earlier this week, Grant Wells is the exact type of quarterback he's been waiting for to have here at Virginia Tech. And when I spoke with Grant, he also said playing against West Virginia was a dream of his. He grew up a fan of theirs. They didn't recruit him coming out of high school, and he told me that added a little bit more anticipation for him playing against them tonight.
Wells came out as a 3-star, perhaps a chip on his shoulder. Mountaineers now down 7-3 after Virginia Tech moved it right down the field. Impressive drive for the Hokies. Let's see how JT Daniels in West Virginia responds. Ball at the 25. And that's C.J. Donaldson off the left side. And he just gets yards in bunches. Gain of 14.
I can tell you, they just run that gap scheme with the puller, and you just see him tuck right in behind him, find the hole, and get the ball north and south. If it wasn't for the tackle by Hawkins, he was out the gate.
Here comes tempo, quick throw. It's Cortez Braham on the reception. Dorian Strong on the tackle.
The thing about West Virginia is this. They can flip the field on you in a hurry. You can think you have them down and have them on their heels, and this offense can come out and produce an explosive play, plus 20, plus 30, 40, 50 yards in a heartbeat. So if you're Virginia Tech, just keep everything in front of you, play sound defense.
Again, Donaldson up the middle. Again, a little bit of a crease, and it's going to be a first down West Virginia. Nyquil Hawkins tackles him.
This West Virginia offensive line is doing a nice job of getting hats on a hat, is what they call it. Just making sure that you know what your blocking assignment is, get them covered up, because all CJ needs is a crease, and he's on to the second level and into the secondary. And so far, this Virginia Tech secondary has prevented a couple of big runs from getting out of there.
Daniels the play fake, wide open receiver, and just missed it. Sam James, the intended receiver, falls incomplete.
Yeah, that's one that JT is going to want back, as Sam James is running an intermediate crosser against that zone right there in between the linebackers and the safeties. Was wide open. JT just missed it.
Time for Daniels over the middle, and flags on the play. There was some contact. Bryce Ford Wheaton working his way across the field, and Dax Hollifield, Virginia Tech star defender, is going to get him.
Yeah, he was in good position. I think he got out of sorts with his
Pass
angle.
Number 4, defense, spot foul, automatic, first down.
So I had mentioned the referee, Scott Campbell. He's a social media star because he's in shape, a big guy. Lewis, 26 years with the San Jose Fire Department as a firefighter and paramedic. He said during his long shifts, he would try to stay in shape and do fireman workouts.
Hey.
It appears he's still taking his muscle snacks, because 26 years after that, he's probably the strongest guy on that field.
Yeah, those referees like to show off now and then.
Maybe a shirt too small.
Hey, I'm here for it.
Just to drive it home.
Do what you got to do, man.
Another penalty yielding a first down. 6-1 of the night on Virginia Tech. They give to Donaldson off the left side. Big hit by Strong. A gain of 5.
One of the things that Graham Harrell is trying to do is see whether or not the perimeter run defense is sound for Virginia Tech. And that doesn't just mean the linebackers and defensive ends. That means the secondary.
Tempo again. Donaldson again, and a first down, West Virginia.
Donaldson again, the ball carrier. Jamari Connor on the start for the Hokies.
I'm telling you, with the way in which they can run off plays and the number of bodies and athletes that they have on West Virginia's offense, this offense can tax you both mentally and physically. And you see Donaldson has been close to breaking a couple of them. I'll give the Virginia Tech defense credit. The linebackers in the secondary are doing their job, making sure that they don't break out of there for some explosive runs, because this West Virginia offensive line is winning up to this point.
JT under center. Tony Mathis now in the game, and that's Connor, first man at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
Immediately by 41, Jalen Ricker.
West Virginia going under center.
That's something you don't see very often. I think you may have another one-on-one situation for Bryce Ford Wheaton.
Tony Mathis drops the ball. Tried to get to the second level. It was shifty. Mathis fumbles. Strong recovers. Turnover.
Rolling on the field was a fumble. Recovered by the defense. First down. Timeout on the field.
So after a Virginia Tech touchdown, Jalen Stroman and the Hokies offense comes up huge, forces the turnover. Virginia Tech ball when we come back. Ball 35-yard line, and Wells, a designed keeper, and a gain of 2.
Grant Wells on the quarterback keeper.
I wouldn't want to expose Grant Wells to too many hits if I didn't have to, but I think that is exactly offensive coordinator Tyler Bowen's thinking in terms of, I have to use all of his talents. And he is one of the best athletes on the field for Virginia Tech, throwing and running. And I think it has showed up so far tonight.
Wells time, good shot to the sideline, and that is a big-time throw to Christian Moss. Lewis, I don't know how many times I said in our meetings, I love Grant Wells in football.
That's an absolute laser, man. That's more than a big-time throw. I mean, that is on a rope. And Christian Christian Moss is one of those guys that Brent Pry told us. He told him, he challenged him. You see him here. You see him here. He gets in behind the corner, the flat corner. He get it in front of the safety, Marquise Floyd. Perfect execution. That ball was on an absolute rope.
He said whenever Moss wants to flip the switch, he could be a star now.
Oh, he's got him again.
Go deep. Has a receiver open, and he misses it. A flag on the play. Moss overthrown, but it looks like we're going to get a late hit on Grant Wells.
He could have maybe got pass interference also on the corner as Christian Moss was getting down the field.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 91. Defense with a high hit to the quarterback. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic, first down.
That is a killer. That is on Sean Martin.
Any contact up near the head, up near the face mask, and you know they're going to call it. But there you see Christian Moss. Able to get behind this West Virginia secondary once again.
You had pointed that out. The receivers for Virginia Tech having good success getting behind the West Virginia defenders. Penalty makes it a first down, ball inside the 30. Wells looks right, goes over the middle. Another throw, that intended for Blumrick, a little high. He's 6'5", but that was still tall for him. Falls incomplete.
Yeah, it looked like there may have been a little bit of a mix-up in terms of the route distribution. Both Blumrick and Caleb Smith were in the same general area. But Virginia Tech has had no fear going after this West Virginia secondary, and rightfully so.
Quick throw out of the backfield to King. King's got home run speed, pushed out of bounds. Number 14, Malachi Ruffin.
Well, you see what the game plan is for Virginia Tech. Let's see if we can just get out on the edges, on the perimeter, get the ball to our playmakers out in space. We don't really want to deal with this West Virginia defensive line because on the interior, I think West Virginia has the matchup advantage. You can't just keep running the ball into a brick wall. So get it out on the edges where you can use your speed and playmaking ability.
3rd and 1. They give up the middle. King met immediately. What a hit. And this is going to depend on the spot.
That was middle linebacker Lee Koba with an absolute textbook hit. He reads this perfectly, comes downhill, and just puts a boom shot on Keyshawn King. Just watch it. Reads the guard pulling. Great pad level. That's exactly how you draw it up.
So 4th and 1. Brent Pry says, you know what? Let's play football. Play clock at 3. They're going to have to use a timeout.
Timeout, Virginia Tech. First of the half.
So for now, Virginia Tech has the offense on the field. Will the Hokies stay that way? We'll find out.
How does Popeyes...
Lane Stadium, one of the great atmospheres in college football. And we've got a nice ball play coming up, Lewis Riddick. Big down, 4th down. Brent Pry and the Hokies used a timeout to discuss it. They run the offense back out there, so 4th and short for Virginia Tech.
And who's been the guy who's been producing for him on the perimeter? It's been Caleb Smith. Dajuan Lofton has gotten loose a few times. He's been beating his guy. They opt to throw it. I'm trying to get the ball to one of those two.
Holston in the backfield. Wells keeps it himself. And I don't think he got it. He's going to be marked short of the first down. Grant Wells on the quarterback keeper, and the West Virginia sideline is fired up after that defensive stop.
You just ran the ball into the teeth, into the strength of the West Virginia defense. You've got Jordan Jefferson, Sean Martin. You got a bunch of big bodies in there that are great athletes. I mean, it's going to be tough sledding inside there.
Lewis, your thoughts on the play call?
I just, they've been attacking West Virginia on the edges, trying to get out on the perimeter. I wouldn't be going after Dante Stills and going after Jordan Jefferson and trying to run the ball at their strength. If you're going to go for it, get the ball to your playmakers. They have been winning on the perimeter. They've shown they're up to the task.
Let's go back to that possession later. Remember, that was off the turnover. And no points scored for Virginia Tech. So West Virginia dodges a bullet after the Tony Mathis fumble. JT Daniels finds Jeremiah Aaron, and that'll be a first down Mountaineers. Amari Chapman on the coverage.
They just have athlete after athlete out on the perimeter they can throw out there. That is just a nice route by Aaron against Chapman. Get him to open his hips, make him think that he's going vertical, just snap it off. And a nice, easy throw and catch for JT Daniels.
Saw an example of what Graham Harrell was telling us about C.J. Donaldson. He has not missed in pass protection. Picked up the nice blitz block there. Jaden Keller. So 1st and 10, West Virginia over the middle of the field. Is intended for Aaron again, thrown a bit behind him. Deflected on the play by Chapman.
You see JT just trying to fit it in that hook curl area against this 3-deep zone to Aaron. You see Chapman playing outside leverage, trying to play over the top in that cover 3. Just make sure he doesn't get beat deep. They're giving a lot of space in there in those zones with which JT can exploit. He's just got to put the ball on the receivers.
That's Donaldson off the right side. A nice job by the Virginia Tech defense. That's Mr. Virginia Tech, Dax Hollifield on the tackle.
Tackle for the Hokies, number 4, Dax Hollifield.
So no gain, 3rd and long, tempo out of West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Daniels, time, downfield. Intended for Caden Prather. And Armani Chapman had himself a series. Incomplete. West Virginia punts.
They've been testing him this entire series. You know, Virginia Tech was late getting lined up. You can see all the defenders looking over at the sideline trying to get the call. And Prather was behind Chapman. You see him hand fighting a little. Better throw. And that's a big play for West Virginia. They dodged the bullet, got off the field.
That Virginia Tech special teams almost got there. Black's going to take that at the 25-yard line. This game is back and forth. Still 7-3 Virginia Tech midway through the second.
Hokies, 2 for $7.
Nice stop by Virginia Tech's defense to get Grant Wells in the offense the ball back. 7-3 here, midway through the second quarter. Hokies with the lead. That's Keyshawn King, and again, nothing going off tackle leads.
Jordan Jefferson has having a night right now. The interior of the West Virginia's defense is just not where you're going to want to live if you're Virginia Tech. There's a reason why Jordan Jefferson was on Bruce Feldman's freak list, okay, from an athletic standpoint. You see what he does? You see what he does there to Jesse Hansen? He just takes him and tosses him to the side and makes the TFL the tackle for a loss. That's not where you want to. That's not where you want to live if you're Virginia Tech. Get the ball on the perimeter to your playmakers who have had a good night so far.
It's going to be a whistle before the snap. More movement.
False start, number 70, offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Sloppy play out of Virginia Tech. 7 penalties here in the first half, midway through the second quarter. That's Parker Clements, a guilty party. You'd mentioned off tackle, no go for Virginia Tech, just 5 yards rushing to this point in the game.
Look, and I know Brent Pry said, look, we want to prove that we can run the football against good fronts because it's important to our overall balance of our offense. I just don't think it's going to happen here tonight. They've seen where they can exploit West Virginia. They got to keep going to it.
There's a malfunction with the play clock.
Delay game.
They're going to get it for delay game.
5-yard penalty, second down.
So the Virginia Tech staff was raising their arms as if they wanted the play clock to reset, and instead delay a game. Now 2nd and 22. Wells going to try to get it back with one throw. That was intended for Blumrick, and it falls incomplete. And Lewis, you can't have penalties if you want to get into any type of rhythm, especially deep in your own territory.
Yeah, look, I mean, Matt, sometimes football isn't really hard. If you have penalties, you turn the football over, you put yourself at a deficit in terms of being behind the chains. It's just going to make it an uphill climb. And that's exactly the situation they find themselves in right now.
3rd and 22. Designed run again for Wells, just trying to get some of it back. He lowers his shoulder, tackled by Cox, and the Hokies are going to have to punt.
Yeah, this wasn't a good series for Virginia Tech. It was a nice series for West Virginia, just taking advantage of the situation. Their big playmakers, guys like Jordan Jefferson showing up. You know that that was the strength of their football team. And now here's the strength of Virginia Tech's football team historically and with this team, and that being special teams. See if they can find a way to flip the field and get West Virginia backed up.
Punt looks like it was tipped by the West Virginia special teams, and it's going to roll out inside the 50. Anthony Del Negro, the defensive lineman, was able to get up there, but there is a flag on the play.
And there's a flag laying at about the...
During the kick, holding, number 28, return team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down, timeout.
The penalties are piling up here in the first half. That's the 12th. Neil Brown doesn't like it. West Virginia ball when we come back.
The new iPhone 14.
Call rules official Matt Austin. Why was he upset? This seemed pretty obvious.
Well, I think if you watch the end of the play, the defensive player grabs onto the offensive player grabbed onto the defensive player and pulled him to the ground too. So I think Coach Brown only saw the second half.
Matt, thank you. C.J. Donaldson on the carry and a gain of 8.
C.J. Donaldson is fun to watch. This is a 240-pound young man who has the shiftiness of a 210-pounder, as you see.
I mean, every time he touches the ball, that's a gain of 10. He's probably upwards of 7 yards a carry, Lewis, on the night.
With the inside running game, whether it be the inside zones or the counters or the powers or the quick hitters between the tackles, the West Virginia offensive line is doing a fantastic job of covering up the front 7 of Virginia Tech, and then CJ is on to the second level. You see, he came into this game averaging over 9 yards a carry, and he's up to 8.6 tonight.
And it's Donaldson again right up the middle. Graham Harrell said if he gets in better shape, he's a freshman, he's coming in, he's learning college football, the better shape he gets in, the more carries they can give him and ride him even more than they are.
Well, they've got a pretty good running back room between him and Mathis, Justin Johnson. I think you see Justin Johnson's in there now. So they can rotate a lot of different guys in here. They've got all the ingredients to be the high-powered offense that they are.
2nd and 7, pressure. Daniels off his mark, takes a shot, contact. No flag intended for Bryce Ford Wheaton. Good defense there by Strong, who's having a big night.
You talk about these running backs and how good they are in pass protection, and Graham Harrell was pleased with them, and I just talked about how deep their backfield is. Watch Justin Johnson here pick up the blitzer coming inside. I mean, just look at that. That's exactly what you're looking for. That just gives JT Daniels that extra beat where he can hit another time and get that ball off. Those are the things that make Graham Harrell very happy with how his offense executes.
3rd and 7, West Virginia. Daniels started 7 of 7. He's now 2 of 8 since. And you talked about the running game, and you talked about Johnson. Big gain, first down, West Virginia picks up 12.
Look, the blocking on the interior between Gmitter and Frazier, Jordan White, what they outweigh, and they really do dominate Virginia Tech from a size perspective, and it's showing up.
That's Johnson again. So we've seen Mathis, we've seen Donaldson, and now Justin Johnson. Blitz pick up, big gain, and now a gain of 3 brought down by Hollifield.
I mean, you can just see, once they get the front 4 of Virginia Tech tied up, they're having a tough time getting off blocks, and the running backs are on to the second level to these linebackers and safeties in a hurry.
Under 3 minutes here in the first half. West Virginia moving the ball down 7-3. Daniels, time. Donaldson out of the backfield. Gain of 3, and that was Breon Murray knocking him out. Injured Hokie down on the field.
Timeout for an injured defensive player.
All right, so where they tend to the injured Hokie. Let's go to the studio and Kevin Connors.
Hey, Maddie, coming up on the Twisted Tea halftime report, we'll look ahead to some of the notable games in week 4 of the college football season this Saturday, including a big one in the ACC Atlantic Division. We'll make a stop in Sam Acho's film room. What makes Max Johnson the X factor at Texas A&M? Plus, Sam is going to join Coach Dan Mullen, break down the anatomy of a Hail Mary. What went right and what didn't for Appalachian State? Maddie, coming up at the half.
Kevin, thank you. Shout out to all the studio crews Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. All that hard work in studio. Kevin Connors, Kevin Agandi, Matt Jesse and Joey, Rob Lemley, Mike Diesenhoff, Steve Oling, and the rest of that crew. Trip Rizziazzo. An all-day Saturday and time to keep our eyes on the sky around college football. It's the job. It's what we love to do. And now a big 3rd and 3 after Jalen Griffin, the injured player for the Hokies, taken off the field. Why not give it to Donaldson? And the Hokies were ready for it. No gain. Taiwan Garbett, the big tackle.
That's a nice job of Garbett of setting the edge against Brandon Yates, offensive tackle. Actually, he's playing against the tight end. You see him get his hand. Almost could have got caught maybe with hands to the face. But that's how you set a hard edge against an outside zone running scheme or anything that hits off tackle.
30 seconds.
There's a reason why Taiwan Garbett is currently the man with the lunch pail on the defensive side of the football. It's because of plays like that against the run and the pass.
The great lunch pail tradition here at Virginia Tech. It is a blue-collar crew, and they love every bit of it. We also love Sunday NFL Countdown. Has you covered week 3, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. Monday night Countdown crew gets you set for Cowboys Giants, 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific. Both are on ESPN and the app. Lewis, you were a part of Monday Night Football this week in Buffalo for the doubleheader.
I'll tell you what, the Buffalo Bills are for real, man. They are for real. It is, and I don't think this is something where you can just overreact and say, well, it's only 3 weeks into the season. Let's just let it all play out. No, they have got some ballers up there. Josh Allen looks spectacular. The Von Miller effect is real. This is a football team you're going to have to deal with all year long.
Stay with me here. Maybe Buffalo, the Lane Stadium of the NFL. Collegiate-type atmosphere.
Oh, no question. There's no question about that. This is one of the great atmospheres all of college football and all of sports.
We did keep the blue cheese out of the booth tonight, though. Casey Legg set up for a 35-yard field goal. Worth pointing out, the wind is blowing left to right. We've seen it affect some of the passes. Legg, a Lou Grozo Award watch list. Kick is true. West Virginia gets points. Now down 7-6. So again, Lewis, the Virginia Tech defense, the Mountaineers have moved the ball on them, but they haven't been able to score any touchdowns here in the first half.
Look, I mean, in the end, what matters in football are points. Yards are nice. They look good on the stat sheet. They look good in the total offensive rankings when you're talking about just yardage gained in a game, but really what matters is points. Your total defense and your scoring offense is really what matters. And right now, Brent Pry's defense is doing a nice job of when they need to, keeping this high-powered West Virginia offense out of the end zone.
So minute 50 in the second quarter. I'd say right now, with Virginia Tech set to get the ball, the story, at least right now, Lewis, the penalties have damaged both of these teams. That possession for West Virginia had a hold on the punt return, could have started in plus territory, moves them back, ends up with the field goal. But 7-6 here with under 2.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I mean, the score isn't really indicative of how much action there has been in this football game. I mean, West Virginia, the running game looked spectacular. The passing game was going pretty well early on. But Virginia Tech's secondary has done a nice job of corralling the big playability. And then for Virginia Tech, look, I mean, it really has been the Grant Wells show. Caleb Smith has made some plays. Blue has made some plays. Lofton has made some plays. A lot of action, just not a lot of scoring.
So Virginia Tech will get the ball at the 25. And now let's take a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by Verbo. It is not a question of the #1 team in the country, as Georgia's as dominant as anyone. Alabama looks good as well. There you have Ohio State, Michigan. I tell you what, Michigan's going to be a team to watch with J.J. McCarthy now at quarterback. He gives Harbaugh the punch. And Sam Pittman in Arkansas. Boy, do they have a big one in Arlington, America this week against their rival Texas A&M. 7 p.m. Eastern, ESPN. So here's Wells. 1 timeout remaining, 1:50 left in the half. Hokies get the ball to start the second half. This could be a big 2-for-1. Quick shot to Gallo out of bounds.
It's a nice little high-low combination against that split safety look. Could be a cover 4 type of look or a cover 2 type of look. But that's just a nice job of taking an easy completion, gaining 5 yards. Now you're in second and manageable.
Again, quick throw, again over the middle. Caleb Smith, who scored the touchdown. Here comes the tempo and a gain of 12.
Exact same thing, same coverage scheme. A too high look, meaning there's 2 safeties back deep playing zone underneath. And what does Caleb Smith do? He just finds the zone void, and Grant Wells puts it on him.
Time. Wells gonna take a shot to Smith. Spells on the coverage. No flag on the play. Falls incomplete.
You see here, Spells does a nice job. As you see, that's textbook right there. He plays him. You see, he gets him under control. That's called being in phase. Just pin the wide receiver to the boundary, get your head back, use your body to control him so he can't go up over top of you and try and high point the ball. That's how you play it down the field.
Spells, a true freshman out of Fort Lauderdale, 4-star kid making a big play. That's Gallo again, just getting that 5 yards they need to move up the field.
Get out of bounds, save some clock, just take the easy completions, just move the football down the field. No mistakes. And if you're West Virginia, just don't get the ball thrown over your head. At the very least, hold them to a field goal, but don't get the ball thrown over your head. Do not give up the deep shot.
3rd and 5. Wells, time. Underneath. That was Christian Moss. Tight coverage by Hershey McLaurin. And West Virginia's in a good spot here. If Virginia Tech elects to punt, which they do, because they'll get the ball back with 2 timeouts left, and a good stop for them.
Yeah, this is a nice job of Hershey McLaurin just coming down on the shallow crosser run by Christian Moss. Avoiding getting called for a pass interference. Take away everything deep. Again, like I said, before the play started, don't get the ball thrown over your head. Have good vision on the quarterback, break on the football. Nice execution by West Virginia's defense.
So after moving the ball early in the possession, it's Peter Moore on the punt. Reese Smith deep to receive. And they're going to call that a touchback. I mean, Peter Moore, I mean, he put a lob wedge on that thing.
You can't ask the punter to do any better than that. That has to be down at the 1-inch line if you're Virginia Tech. Cole Beck, wide receiver down there, I believe lined up as one of the gunners. You got to do your job and make sure you keep that out of the end zone, because that's a beautiful, beautiful punt.
There's a flag on the play. We'll check the penalty.
Holding, number 99, kicking team. That 10-yard penalty will be added to the dead ball spot. First down, West Virginia.
So add a little insult to the play not being downed at the inch line. They'll add 10 yards because of the penalty and holding. Lewis, here's another look. Justin Pollock, the guilty party.
Yeah, I mean, it's an easy call. When you see a blocker just take a defender and torque him and twist him and throw him to the ground, you're going to get called every single time. But now if you're Virginia Tech, again, it's going to be important that you continue to make sure that you don't give up the big play. And if you're West Virginia, see if you can get one of these wide receivers loose again.
Here comes the pressure. JT Daniels gets it out quickly to Mike O'Loughlin. The gain of 7. We're under a minute to play. West Virginia still 2 timeouts. It's Johnson in the backfield coming out. Daniels time, good shot across midfield. It's the tight end O'Loughlin again. 2 consecutive catches knocked out by Peoples.
That's a nice route combination. You have a high-low combination on the outside against a cover 2 look.
Timeout.
You have the short route that draws up the corner. Tight end runs the 7 route, which is just a little corner route in front of the safety Peoples. Nice easy completion.
And that's Dorian Strong, the injured Virginia Tech player. Strong's had a big night. They can't afford to lose him.
Here you see Ford Wheaton just come in and sit down. And you see O'Loughlin just run in behind him, run a little, called it a corner route, more like a little bit of an out route in front of Peoples. It's exactly great cover 2 beater right there.
You know, Lewis, you had mentioned Bryce Ford Wheaton targeted 5 times on the night, but only 2 receptions.
Yeah, look, they've done a nice job of keeping the top on this defense and making West Virginia earn it and not get any deep shots down the field and any easy ones. Running game may be a little bit of a different story, but you know what? A lot of defensive coordinators will live with that. As long as you just stiffen up once you get down inside the red zone. But the quickest way to get beat is to have it thrown over your head.
Here comes the pressure. Picked up. Daniels across the middle. And a catch by Caden Prather. He's had a nice first half. West Virginia first down, still the 2 timeouts. They're going hurry up, gain of 15.
Oh, Virginia Tech is lucky because Ford Wheaton at the top of your screen ran a double move against Chapman. And had JT Daniels seen him, it would have been 6.
Clock moving. They're taking a shot up top. Incomplete, intended for Ford Wheaton and Breon Murphy. What a great one-on-one battle that was. Wheaton almost took it away from him.
Well, see, they went back to it. The coaches saw the same thing. I had said it was Chapman, but it was Murray who was up there. Now they went back to it, went back to Ford Wheaton, seeing if he can get the one-on-one. He almost took it away from him. But coaches see the same thing that we see up here. They saw the double move on the play before and said, look, we got to go back to Ford Wheaton. He's got the corner beat up there. Let's see if we can get one over the top. Nice response by Murray, though.
Over the middle again, it's Prather, and they keep eating that route up, Lewis. They've had success with Caden Prather. Armani Chapman brings it down at a gain of 13.
Well, I mean, JT is showing you why he was the #1 recruit coming out of high school. He's showing you why he can throw the football as well as anybody in college football. And Prather is showing you why he's a 4-star recruit.
West Virginia uses a timeout, but they've hit this thing a few times tonight.
Yeah, I mean, when you're playing outside leverage by Chapman, and he just runs an in-breaking route with the corner sitting high and outside, that's what you're giving up. That's what you're conceding. You're hoping that your intermediate and deep help on the inside by guys like Dax Holyfield and Nasir Peoples sitting inside there can break on those inside routes and break up the throw. But when JT puts the ball on a line like that, it's hard to defense that kind of route.
4 of 5, 46 yards on this drive for JT Daniels. Some featured ESPN Plus college football games Saturday. Georgia hosting Kent State. Appalachian State, the most entertaining team in the country. They've got JMU, who's up at FBS this year, and LSU hosting New Mexico in our East Coast primetime matchup. Daniels to the end zone, has a receiver, touchdown West Virginia. What a strike to Sam James, 24 yards, and just before the half, Mountaineers answer.
Virginia Tech sitting in cover 2, and you had Sam James in the slot. He just runs right down the middle of the field. Cover 2, 2 safeties split. Middle of the field is open. That's exactly where you attack. Right down the hash, right down the middle of the field. He's got the matchup against an interior pass defender. No middle of the field safety help. Perfect throw by JT Daniels.
6 plays, 70 yards, 50 seconds. And we have called everyone's name, and we had talked a second ago about Bryce Ford Wheaton and how he's been handled nicely tonight. It's been Caden Prather, 5 catches, 61 yards. And there's Sam James just over the top, 24-yard touchdown.
Yeah, watch Sam James. He's number 3 in this trip set over here. At the bottom of your screen, you're going to see the safeties bail out. You see how he is just one-on-one with Dax Holyfield. That's a mismatch that if you're Graham Harrell, you're going, look, I'll take that all day long. You're trying to prevent the outside players from going deep on you, playing too high. The weakness of the coverage is when you have speed like Sam James matched up on a Mike linebacker and you have no safety help in the middle of the field. And if you can protect it, and he can beat that second-level defender and that linebacker, which you expect him to do, that's usually the result. That's a good play call by Graham Harrell. Good execution by JT and Sam James.
By the way, great field awareness by Sam James to notice to salute Virginia Tech in the end zone. And a great job by the cameras avoiding the inevitable fingers that went up. So now 10 seconds left, 11 seconds left here in the first half. Virginia Tech, 1 timeout. Lewis, I'd imagine they'd probably be content getting the ball first, second half, sit on it, go to the break.
Yeah, I think they would. Look, I think this game right here, there's a lot of ball game left. There's a lot of big plays that are still going to be made in this game. I think both of these teams kind of know now exactly how the other team wants to play them. Virginia Tech has acquitted itself very well here tonight. The secondary has played well, minus this last drive.
I mean, what a fun first half.
Oh, absolutely. We've got a ball. Like I said, the score is not indicative of the amount of action that's been going on here. All the playmakers have showed up on both sides of the ball. This is going to be a fun second half.
I mean, there was a feeling out process. There was pace. It slowed down a little bit. But now we've got the marching orders for this second half. 13-7, West Virginia on top. This is going to be a fun one to watch here at Lane Stadium in the second half.
Success in the first half. Go to it again.
West Virginia able to score with Sam James there towards the end of the second half. Had a couple of opportunities inside the 10 to put up some points, settled for field goals. That could be something we look back to at the end of the game. That's Keyshawn King. He lets the kick. I mean, that in terms of risk, Keyshawn King just let it happen. Ball rolled into the pylon. Start the ball at the 25 as we check out our first half stats, brought to you by John Deere.
Yeah, as you see right here, look, the rushing yards for Virginia Tech, they're just not going to be there. This West Virginia defensive front, they came into this game confident that they could win up front and that they could turn this into a passing game. I don't know if that's necessarily what they want, because the secondary has been very inconsistent and Virginia Tech exploited that. Let's see if Virginia Tech goes back to the air here at the beginning of the third quarter.
11 of 18, 128 yards was Grant Wells in the first half. Quick throw to Nick Gallo, who's had a nice night at tight end. Aubrey Burks brings him down and a gain of 6.
Yeah, it's a nice little play action type of throw. Kind of get the linebackers kind of feeling like they were going to maybe hand it off to Keyshawn King and then just get Gallo out on the perimeter, which is where they have had success. Out in space, let their playmakers run after the catch.
That's Blue in motion, give up the middle to King. They're going to try the run, and again, no gain. Sean Martin on the tackle.
Sean Martin and Jordan Jefferson and Dante Stills, that's a load right there. I mean, that's a lot of football player, a lot of good athletes that are just controlling the line of scrimmage and making it very difficult.
West Virginia showing pressure here, 3rd and 4.
think you have to get to Caleb Smith. He's at the top of the screen, number 80. He's got one-on-one coverage, and he's been winning the entire night.
Wells looks the other way, has Blue, and that throw went off the shoulder pad. Well thrown by Wells, but it's going to be a punt, Virginia Tech, first possession, third quarter.
Look, I like the idea of trying to get Blue one-on-one against Lance Dixon here on a little bit of a slot fade, as you would call it. Meaning he's just lining up in the slot and just fading to the boundary.
Right off his face.
He's just got to find the football and make the catch. Maybe lost it in the lights. I like the matchup. I like the idea. Those are opportunities you just have to capitalize on.
So Reese Smith deep to receive the Peter Moore punt. Wind is howling right now inside Lane Stadium, and the advantage of the punter. And Reese Smith bobbles the punt. A Hokie is there. And that ball went out of bounds, and West Virginia avoided a disaster to start the second half. I had just mentioned, Lewis, the games that the Wind is playing right now, and that ball went right through Reese Smith's chest.
Look, I could see it up in the air here, up in the broadcast booth. I could see how the Wind was carrying it to the left.
And Kelly Lawson right there.
You just got to bring that in. Yep, just got to bring it in. I mean, that's a huge game-changing type of play on special teams that Virginia Tech typically comes up with, but they got them pinned back deep. West Virginia has shown that they can drive the football the length of the field. It doesn't matter where they start field position-wise. But Virginia Tech's defense has to try and answer here.
So ball at the 12. That's Donaldson off the left side. He had a nice first half. Tackled by Jenkins. Donaldson, 12 carries, 58 yards for the game. .239 total yards for JT Daniels in West Virginia in the first half. 13 points to show for it. Going to take a shot. And a flag on the play, which has been the theme throughout the night. It was Sam James who caught the touchdown. Shamari Connor going to get hit with the flag.
West Virginia comes out and runs the same type of concept in terms of the slot fade. The number 2 wide receiver.
Number 25. Defense, 15-yard penalty for the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Shamari Connor, someone who can play 3 different positions. You see him here. You can't impede the wide receiver's attempt to make a catch and make a play on the football. He had good coverage. Just have to try and find a way to stay off of the wide receiver, keep him in phase, keep him under control, and make a play on the ball. Easier said than done, obviously.
West Virginia now 5 first downs by penalty. Moves the ball to the 30. That's C.J. Donaldson. Good cutback. Boy, is this freshman good. Here goes Donaldson. Cuts back for 18. Eventually brought down by Connor. And again, C.J. Donaldson showing why he is special.
Whenever you have an outside zone type of run, the backside pursuit players, just in case that ball jumps outside, you have to make sure that you are playing with discipline and playing with good pursuit ankles. There you see Keontae Jenkins. He had a chance to stop that. Just missed the tackle.
So no gain, 2nd and 10. Donaldson going to get a breather. We've seen Justin Johnson in the backfield a number of times tonight making plays. He's in now. Fake to Johnson. Bring it back to Bryce Ford Wheaton. Slip screen. Wheaton has space. Bryce Ford Wheaton. First down, West Virginia, gain of 10.
Keontae Jenkins again read the play perfectly, just missing the tackle in the open field.
They are calling plays quick as it's Johnson up the middle. And he was marked short of the first down. He'll get a first down there after a gain of 3.
I tell you, this tempo is no joke. having been on the other side of it numerous different times in my career from a defensive standpoint, let me tell you, when you get fatigued like that, not only does your effort go downhill, so does your mental ability to concentrate and play without making mistakes from an assignment perspective. It's exactly what offenses are trying to do, trying to get you to crack.
Over the middle, intended for Ford Wheaton. It falls incomplete. Breon Murray, who's had the assignment tonight on the coverage. Lewis, this drive pretty reminiscent of that drive we saw early in the first quarter by West Virginia. They started way back in their own territory at the 2, able to move the ball pretty successfully.
And they're not taking big shots down the field, but they're playmakers, they're ball carriers. The yardage after contact, their ability to make people miss in space is what allows them
Donaldson again, 7 on the play.
Had a little bit of a wham concept in there, and Dax Holyfield just taking on the block from O'Loughlin. You see Nasir Peoples again, just having to come downhill and fill on this big boy all night long, that being C.J. Donaldson. I'm telling you, this young man came into tonight with some eye-popping statistics. And tonight, he is putting on a show and showing you why he's one of the most dynamic players in college football.
And Virginia Tech's defense get off the field again. It's C.J. Donaldson, and he is stopped.
Donaldson made it to line of scrimmage.
So no gain for Donaldson, bring it up a 4th and short.
That's a nice job by defensive end C.J. McCray. You're going to see him just come and crash down inside, play square to the line of scrimmage. The interior of the defensive line did a good job of holding the point of attack, and then the edge players can come and crash down from the outside.
So Neil Brown's keeping the offense on the field, 4th and 3. Daniels to throw across the middle. First down, West Virginia. Caden Prather continues to have a big night.
Caden Prather is a special athlete. He's just a special athlete in one-on-one. They're going to take their chances with him one-on-one against a guy like Armani Chapman. Just watch the release. Take him hard outside, put on the brakes, come right back inside. I mean, this is a kid who's 6'4", 200+ pounds, moving like a small wide receiver. That's difficult to defend one-on-one. I don't care who you are.
2 tight ends now for West Virginia. The fake to Johnson. They go to one of the tight ends out of the backfield. That's Mike O'Loughlin. And West Virginia moving the ball on the Hokies. Gain of 14. O'Loughlin brings another one in. 3 catches, 35 yards for him.
Now C.J. Donaldson running the ball hard, right? You have the Virginia Tech defense thinking, we got to stop the run, stop the run. They call an RPO. Bring O'Loughlin across the formation. J.T. Daniels pulls it. And now you're out the gate. See, now you got Virginia Tech's defense where you want them. Because the running game is hitting. Now the RPO game will go.
And you give it to Donaldson off the right side. Nice job again by the Hokies. Taiwan Garbett, initial pursuit.
You love the character and the effort with which Virginia Tech's defense plays.
Injured West Virginia Mountaineer on the field.
Timeout on the field.
That looks like C.J. Donaldson. We'll let the trainers get to him. We'll step aside, come back after this.
The all-new 2 for $5 menu at some.
Donaldson made his way to the injury tent to have what looks Lewis his left wrist looked at after bracing it and falling on it.
Yeah, you see him here trying to keep his balance. Looks like he gets it trapped up underneath him. Obviously, we're not going to speculate as to the severity, but hopefully he can return to this football game.
It's the 12th play of the drive that started at the 13. It's Johnson in the backfield. Quick flip. And again, the Hokies there. Dax Holyfield on the tackle. They went for Sam James. Brings up 3rd and goal.
Well, that's a nice play by Dax Holyfield on the jet sweep. You saw him just track and pace that right from the get-go and had a good beat on it. Those are the kind of plays they've been making down in the red area for the most part, where they have been pretty good today.
Lewis, another opportunity for West Virginia inside the 10. 3rd and goal. We're looking at the play clock. The official runs in to stop the play.
And reset the play clock to 25 seconds. It'll start on my signal.
Now you're going to hear the fans booing because earlier in the first half, Virginia Tech wanted the same thing, what they thought was a play clock malfunction. Now West Virginia gets the benefit of the doubt. We'll do this all over again, 3rd and goal. Daniels to the corner, wide open. He dropped it. Michael Laughlin had a touchdown, and he dropped it.
What a great route combination dialed up there by Graham Harrell. He had him wide open. You're going to see there is a coverage bust, likely by the linebacker, number 21, Lawson. You got to read that route distribution. You got to read it quickly down here inside the 10-yard line where things happen quick. Graham Harrell had the perfect play call. They just missed it.
Casey Legg on for the 26-yard field goal, and it's good. But again, West Virginia, opportunity to put 6 on the board. Settle for 3, 16-7. Mountaineers midway through the 3rd quarter. And Lewis, it's about JT Daniels, who's looked good, but West Virginia hasn't been able to capitalize.
Yeah, I mean, he's completed passes to 7 different receivers. He's 19 of 29 for 177 yards. They have taken what Virginia Tech has given them for the most part, which is the short to intermediate pass game. They took advantage of them right at the end of the first half on this cover 2 beater, right down the middle of the field to Sam James. But it's the missed opportunities, Matt, that you're talking about in the red area, where if they punch it in for 6, they have this game already blown wide open. They're letting Virginia Tech hang around. And if Virginia Tech can drive this football down here and punch this in and make this a 1-score game, West Virginia will have nobody to blame but themselves for not taking advantage of opportunities.
Possession of the first half where they had to settle for a 23-yard field goal when they had goal to go. So we'll see if those come back to haunt them. Virginia Tech receives the punt, gets it across the other side of the 20 by Bryce Duke. And Lewis, you bring up the point. West Virginia unable to cash in with touchdowns, which now with Grant Wells and Virginia Tech coming out, it's only 16-7. Everything is still right there.
It sure is. And look, they have had success on the perimeter throwing the football. They got to get Caleb Smith back involved, get Christian Moss back involved, take the shots to Jaden Blue, take the shots to Lofton because they have been there.
Caleb, 5 receptions, 70 yards, and get a designed run for Grant Wells. We've seen this a couple of times tonight. That one worked well. Lee Koba brings him down. They're going to spot him short of the first down and a gain of 9. I mean, they are hell-bent on getting that running game going by any means necessary. Just 22 yards total on the ground tonight for the Hokies. Brings up 2nd and 1. Back to throw. Out of the backfield, that's King. Able to make a man miss. First down, Virginia Tech.
You can see the natural burst that this young man has. As soon as he got his shoulders squared to the line of scrimmage and got vertical, he was about to kick it into high gear. That's all that they need to do is get some completions, get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, make this West Virginia secondary prove that it can communicate, play consistently, and make tackles.
There's no doubt about it that Keyshawn King is their home run threat. Gonna run on first down, a gain of 2. Koba, the first man in on it.
They just cannot get any movement at the point of attack against the big 3 of Jefferson, Sean Martin, and Dante Stills. It's just not there.
The longest run by a Hokie running back tonight, 2 yards. Longest run overall by the quarterback. Grant Wells out of the backfield. It's King. He's got a block. Here goes King. Has space. And another big gain out of their home run threat. Lewis, you said it. Get him the ball by any means possible. trouble. Stephen Gosnell, key block, and a gain of 20.
Yeah, you know, I think Virginia Tech fans were holding their breath. It looked like they could have gotten Gosnell on the holding penalty out on the perimeter. But nevertheless, they get Keyshawn King out in space, let him go to work.
King a breather, Holston in. Ball at the 37. Wells just throws that over Holston's head. Exree low on the coverage. Let's take a look at that play a second ago by Keyshawn King. You said the block by Gosnell could have been called a hold, but either way, they're getting King the ball and finding a way.
Yeah, exactly. And look, he let go of it right at the last minute. But yeah, this is the game plan that offensive coordinator Tyler Bowen has to use. Get the ball out on the perimeter.
Wells looking to the sideline to get the play. Play clock under 10. Has plenty of time. Good job by the offensive line. Takes a shot to 12. It falls incomplete. There's the flag. That was intended for Gosnell. And Rashad Ajayi does not like it. But it's going to be a penalty and another first down by a penalty.
Number 4, defense. 15-yard penalty from previous spot. Automatic. First down.
Look, there's no need for Rashad Ajayi to panic here. He's in perfect position. He's in perfect position on the 7 route. Don't grab the arm, just run with him. Lean into him, run with him, stay in phase, play the football. You don't have to arm bar him, you don't have to hook him. Those are the kind of things that defensive backs have to be consistent with. Otherwise, you're just giving up easy yardage.
Wells intended for Smith, incomplete. And Lewis, if you're talking about a storyline that we can focus on here in the second half, so many of these penalties, they're the big penalties that move the chains. They're not 5 yards here and there. They're pass interference, 15 yards, extending drives, and oftentimes 3rd and long, giving them a first down.
Like Neil Brown said, the thing we have to eliminate are penalties and turnovers. We saw it in the first game of the year when we watched West Virginia match up against Pitt, and Neil Brown brought it up to us immediately in our call with him.
Quick out to King, bobbles it, and they're going to rule it incomplete.
Rolling on the field is an incomplete forward pass, 3rd down.
But a nice job by Aubrey Burks right there, just in case.
Had they been able to get this ball, just take a little bit off of it, it looks like Wells fired that pretty quickly and got on King a little bit too fast. Maybe he's able to make a move on Aubrey Burks and get out around the corner.
So 3rd down and 10. And wouldn't you know it, a flag.
Snap infraction, number 55. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Johnny Jordan, the center. 11 penalties, 78 yards for Virginia Tech.
And it's still just a 1-score game.
That makes it 3rd and 15. Pressure on Wells, escapes the pocket. Sean Martin was all over the quarterback on that one. It's going to force an incomplete pass. And again, drives stalling after moving successfully.
Yeah, I mean, it's just tried and true in football. It's so hard to drive the length of the field and then be efficient when you get down in the high red zone, in the red zone area, let alone when you're committing penalties and just backing yourself up and shooting yourself in the foot.
So Will Ross on for a 44-yard attempt. First year playing college football. First game was against ODU, and Ross's kick right down the middle. The soccer player turned college football kicker gets Virginia Tech a little bit closer. Now 16-10, just over 4 minutes left in the 3rd.
Wisconsin, Ohio State.
And App. Buckeyes are on a 17.5-point favorite in that one. Wisconsin brings in Braylon Allen. Can Graham Mertz have a game? You know, Jimmy Leonard's defense is going to play well. That'll be a fun one to watch on Saturday night. So field goal good, 16-10, West Virginia. Throughout the night, we've seen JT Daniels play with precision. Perhaps, Harry, it's because he sees with precision.
Guys, he's seeing with precision. I'm seeing with precision right now because of these special sport performance contact lenses that a lot of the West Virginia players are wearing tonight. It's mostly the skill guys. The lead athletic trainer, Vince Blankenship, has started to get them to wear them. Basically, it helps block out UV light, blue light. It also helps with the stadium lights, the glare. You have guys like Sam James, Bryce Ford Wheaton, Wes McCormick all wearing them tonight. It helps them focus on the ball by getting rid of the background noise. And shout out to Zach Foster, the assistant head athletic trainer, for getting me my own pair. I got pairs for you guys as well.
I'll pass. And you need to be baptized on Sundays with those red eyes.
I'll sport those bad boys, though.
A nice play on first down by Justin Johnson, and they'll do anything nowadays to get an edge. I'd love to hear what you know what, maybe I will try just for fun. Here comes tempo West Virginia. They snap it quickly. Again, it's Johnson. Nice stutter step. Johnson has space. What a patient run by Justin Johnson. Big gain for the Mountaineers, gain of 25.
The offensive line, Matt, the offensive line, it's taking over. 2 plays in a row. Zach Frazier, their starting center, the guy who Graham Harrell says is the leader of this offensive line, is just demoing people.
And there's Johnson again. West Virginia isn't even letting the chains get set. They're snapping the ball at a gain of 3.
I mean, you just see it. The body on a body, they're running their feet. And once you get the interior of the defensive line running laterally on these zone runs, and they cannot anchor and or get penetration, the seams just naturally develop. And right now, Justin Johnson is exploiting them. And now they got C.J. Donaldson back in the game.
17 carries, 83 yards for the freshman out of Miami. And he goes right up the middle. Just a yard short of the first down. More for Donaldson. Let's go back down to Harry.
Yeah, guys, head athletic trainer Vince Blankenship told me that C.J. Donaldson has a left hand contusion, but he said he's going to be just fine for the rest of the game.
Harry, thank you. We saw the left wrist. Good to see him back. Last possession down in the red zone. He fell on it. But now 3rd and short. Lewis, that's going to be close.
That's where they mark it. Yeah, that's right on it.
They're going to call a timeout. They're going to bring out the chains.
Yeah, that's too close to call from up here. Nice job by Jalen Stroman on the edge. You see Donaldson, see Stroman get off the block. I don't know where the forward progress of that ball was marked at, or where it really got to.
So here comes the measurement. They've already got it marked 4th down on the sideline marker. And we're talking about inches. And Lewis.
Interesting situation. I was about to say it, man.
Didn't we see this at the backyard brawl? 4th and inches. I'm telling you, it may have been right about this part of the field.
What did we say? What did I say to Neil Brown? Hey, man, no one was stopping C.J. Donaldson in the pit game. I would have went for it.
What he said we were hard on him.
He said we were hard on him up here in the booth. It looks like they left him in the game this time.
So here we go. Eerily reminiscent of the backyard brawl. 4th and inches.
Do they give it to him?
Ball at the 34.
Here goes quarterback sneak.
Flag on the play.
West Virginia moved. I think it was the left guard, Gamitter. Looks like he left early. That's who they're going to call.
The penalties this game.
Ball starts. Number 74. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
And you just see him. You circle. He's the start. He's the left guard. You're just going to see him leave a count before the ball is snapped. Right there.
I mean, Lewis, to be fair, we mentioned 4th and inches, go for it, but now 4th and 6, offense still on the field. Big play in this ball game.
He's not going for it.
Play clock under 10. Down to 5, to 3. Play off. JT scrambles. Incomplete. And a flag on the play.
They're going to get Dax Holyfield for roughing the passer. Late hit. And he pulled him up perfectly. He did a nice job of getting out on the edge and getting JT to pull up.
The passer, number 4.
So they do get Dax Holyfield
from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Another first down via big penalty. Let's have a look.
Yeah, he gets him right up underneath the chin there, Matt. I mean, it's an easy call to make for the referee. He didn't really need to touch him. I mean, it's just so hard. It's hard to pull off. You understand the mentality of a guy like Holyfield when he's coming in there like that. He sees the quarterback. He's coming downhill 100 miles an hour. Man, that's a costly penalty for Virginia Tech. For West Virginia, it's 1st and 10. Now they're rolling again.
6th first down by way of penalty for the Mountaineers. Can Daniels take advantage? Pocket collapses. Daniels goes down. That's Mr. Lunch Pail, Taiwan Garbett. What a play by West Virginia. First sack of the night.
You're going to see Garbett come off the right side of your screen here. You see him work up outside and then retrace his steps, come back down the stem. That's perfect textbook pass rushing technique as far as understanding where the quarterback is in the pocket. That's why Garbett is the lunch pail owner.
Now 2nd and 17, under a minute in the 3rd quarter. Johnson out of the backfield. And West Virginia's defense is starting to swarm after giving up that 3rd and long via penalty. Holyfield and Harvey combine on the tackle.
I watched Holyfield the whole way, defeated 2 blocks, got out on the perimeter to make that tackle. He's playing like a man possessed right now, like someone who understands that they need to make a big play. They need to make a big stop.
Approaching 10 seconds left in the quarter. 3rd and 14. And they're content with letting the clock run out. And we are heading to the 4th quarter of the 50. Kevin Connors, you know it. Also mandatory viewing. Lane Stadium as we begin the 4th quarter. Matt Barry, Lewis Riddick, Harry Lyles Jr. Big 3rd and 14 for JT Daniels and the Mountaineers. Tony Mathis in the backfield. Check that, Johnson in the backfield. JT, no one home. And there's another penalty flag on the field.
Are you going to get hands to the face? You're going to get another penalty on Virginia Tech here.
Personal foul. Hands to the face. Number 3, defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
I mean, at this point, Lewis, you're just
half the distance to the goal.
And you see Pollard coming off the defensive right side. You're going to see his hands just get up in the face of Wyatt Milam. He's it. That's right on the bottom of the face mask. I mean, he's there just as plain as day.
So many second chances for the Mountaineers. Roughing the passer, move the chains, first down. Hands to the face, first down. That's 13 penalties for 107 yards on the Hokies and new life for West Virginia. Johnson off the left side. Brought down by Keller and a gain of 8.
It's a nice block by offensive tackle Wyatt Milam on Taiwan Garbett, allowing Justin Johnson to get out there on the perimeter and gain the 8 yards you're talking about. Look, I mean, they've been on the field a lot of snaps here. This offensive line has been very dominant this entire game, and right now they're starting to impose their will again in the run game.
Can West Virginia take advantage of short yardage to go? go. Johnson says, yes, we can. Touchdown Mountaineers, 6 yards for Johnson. And West Virginia finally able to punch it in and take advantage of a couple costly penalties for Virginia Tech.
I mean, you just see the blocking at the point of attack. I mean, it's just been the same story all night long. Bodies on bodies. Running backs reading the blocks perfectly, getting the ball north and south. This running game is basically taken over.
9 plays, 75 yards. We go back, Lewis, to the roughing the passer. That was on 4th down. Remember now, 4th and 6 after West Virginia committed a penalty and backed it up. Neil Brown still went for it. They get the 1st down and then the hands to the face.
Yeah, I mean, those are
self-inflicted wounds.
Absolutely. I mean, that's just the kind of thing that you just can't overcome against a team as talented as West Virginia, that has the running game clicking like it's killed. I mean, they've got 3 running backs right now that are really just game breakers that can run inside and run outside between Mathis Johnson and C.J. Donaldson. And with the way this offensive line is playing,
Lewis, I'm going to give you a stat. If you told me it was 23-10 West Virginia 4th quarter and Bryce Ford Wheaton would have 3 catches for 23 yards, I'd say you're crazy. But the guys that needed to step up, whether it's been Prather or the running backs you were talking about, they've done a good job executing when their numbers been called.
And then there's all that hidden yardage that we're talking about now with the penalties. That's how you explain these weird scores when they don't match up with the statistics.
Talk about hidden yardage. 107 yards of hidden yards. Saturday night football game presented by Capital One. Clemson, Wake Forest, Notre Dame, North Carolina, and Wisconsin, Ohio State. At the Saturday night game presented by Capital One. Be a fun Saturday on ABC, starting with Clemson at Wake Forest. Sam Hartman's been a great story for the Demon Deacons. DJU and the Tigers have to travel to Wake Forest. Can they pull off an upset? Another busy slate coming up Saturday, week 4. So Grant Wells and the Hokies are going to try to get something going. That pass incomplete to Holston. Wesley McCormick on the cover.
I mean, just think about this from Virginia Tech's perspective. 7 first downs via penalty allowed in this football game is the most they have allowed in a game in the last 15 seasons. I mean, that explains it right there. That's the kind of thing, again, like I said, you go up against a team as talented as West Virginia. Don't talk to me about their record. We've seen West Virginia now play twice. This is a very, very talented football team. That's the kind of thing you just can't overcome.
2-score game, 14-7 left in the 4th quarter. Virginia Tech still going to try to get it going on the ground.
They need chunk yardage and they need scores. They need touchdowns. The running game has not been there for them all night long. It just hasn't. I mean, Grant Wells is leading the team in yards per carry at 4.2. No one else has over 1 yard per carry. Keshawn King, 0.7 yards per carry. Jalen Holston, 1 yard a carry. They're going to have to throw the football.
There's 25 yards total rushing for the game for the Hokies. 3rd and 8. Wells. Pass blocked, batted down. Mike Lockhart gets his paw on it. And Lewis, you get the sense right now with 13:23 left, West Virginia has the Hokies on the ropes.
Yeah, they do. And now, because you know it's going to primarily become a passing game, the defensive line, which is the strength of this defense, now knows what they need to do. Nice job by Lockhart. Doesn't get any push on the pocket, gets stalemated. Now just match the quarterback's throwing motion, get your hand up in the air, see if you can get a batted pass, and he gets one.
Virginia Tech punting into the wind. Reese Smith wisely lets it bounce. And that's going to be really good field position for West Virginia. Punt of 30. Mountaineers up 23-10 here in the 4th quarter. Stop. Harry, what do you think?
Yeah, guys, after that last West Virginia touchdown, there wasn't a whole lot of discouraged faces over here on the Virginia Tech sideline. Defensive coordinator Chris Marv was encouraging his guys, telling them, hey, we're still in this game. Keep making tackles, keep making plays.
A turnover, a stop. We'll see what happens. JT Daniels has other ideas. Reese Smith wide open in the middle of the field. And that's how you get a drive started if you're West Virginia. Tamari Connor brings him down. Smith picks up 28.
But that's the effect of the run game. The run game has the linebackers playing shallow, playing up near the line of scrimmage, not getting any depth in their zone pass drops. That second level throwing window. Those intermediate crossers, they're going to be there now. This is what offensive coordinators ideally want. And that's what West Virginia's getting now.
There's that run game with Donaldson. Gain of 3.
I mean, you see Reese, you see him just get right in behind the interior zone droppers. I mean, and that's the effect of the run game. That's what that is. Linebackers play it slow.
So Mario Kendricks, the injured Virginia Tech player, we're going to step aside while he gets looked at. This month continues 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Plus. Peyton and Eli back Monday night. Look at a game summary here. West Virginia up 23-10. The Virginia Tech offense and the penalties have been their undoing tonight. 188 total yards for the Hokies, averaging 364 total yards per game this season, 12th in the ACC. They just haven't been able to get it going. So 3 wide receivers for the Mountaineers, 2nd and 7. You wonder if Graham Harrell will take that shot to put this thing away. Instead, it's Donaldson on the ground, no gain. J.R. Walker, first player there. You don't want to go too conservative here, Lewis.
No, you don't. You don't. And I don't think Graham Harrell will. I think, look, I think right now JT Daniels is making some good decisions as far as deciding whether or not he wants to run the ball versus the front, versus the coverage that they're getting, whether they can take the shots. You can see Virginia Tech is trying to discourage them from taking shots on the outside with their 2 high safeties. So they're running the football, and they're running it very well.
Still just a 2-score game. They're going to run it on 3rd down. C.J. Donaldson. Big hit by Virginia Tech. That was Chamari Connor coming up and lowering his shoulder pad, bringing up 4th down. So West Virginia, again, going to be forced to have a field goal.
That's the character and attitude with which this defense has historically played and continues to play with. Chamari Connor just comes down. I mean, you can't draw it up any better than that. You can't. And at this point in the game, I can assure you, hitting the 240-pound back that's been running like C.J. Donaldson has been running doesn't make you want to keep doing that. But that's why Chamari Connor is wearing that number 25. One of their best players.
Casey Legg on for the 38-yard attempt, and he has been money every time his name has been called tonight. And because of it, 26-10. Still Virginia Tech 2 scores out. But right now, it is all Mountaineers, 10-16 in the 4th quarter.
The shot plays to Dawan Lofton. They have to figure out a way to get these guys in the deep part of the field.
Speaking of Caleb Smith, he had an opportunity to pay tribute to teachers during Extra Yard for Teachers Week.
She is very passionate about teaching and there for me, you know, from every step. I owe everything I have to teachers, you know. School wasn't always the easiest thing for me, and, you know, teachers that, you know, really took time out of their day to make sure that I got what I needed to get from my education, and, you know, it's ultimately led me being here at Virginia Tech, and, you know, now I can say I'm a proud graduate of Virginia Tech, and I'm currently working on a master's.
Another designed run for Grant Wells and another penalty flag on the play.
You didn't get a holding on 72, Jesse
Holding,
Hansen.
number 72, offense, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still first down.
It's the most penalty yards in a game in the last 5 seasons, 112 yards at Wake Forest. That was eclipsed tonight. You saw Caleb Smith there, Extra Yard for Teachers Week, an annual back-to-school effort led by the College Football Playoff Foundation that brings college sports together to recognize and show appreciation to great teachers across the country. To support Extra Yard for Teachers recognition and resources and initiatives, follow the CFP Extra Yard or scan the QR code for more info. Intercepted. Here goes West Virginia. Pick 6, Mountaineers. That's the true freshman Jacoby Spells. And that just might keep that Black Diamond trophy in West Virginia.
You've seen this West Virginia secondary start to dial in as the game has gone on. Neil Brown referenced it going into the half. He said that he thought that the secondary started to settle down, maybe cover a little bit better. If this phase of their defense can actually continue to grow, this team will get better and better, and this team will be one that you will hear from late in the season.
I mean, this true freshman, he had a couple of big plays earlier.
Here you see Spells here down at the bottom of the screen. Just run the play here. We'll see what they run. They're just sitting in a 3-deep zone, basically. And he just breaks on the slant. He just breaks on basically the 3-step and just drives hard on it. You see how they match this pattern perfectly. They tried to run a little wheel route up the sideline. The flat defender took that one. Spells sees the slant. He says, I'm just going to take this one. I'm going to read the quarterback's eyes. I'm going to break on the football with good vision, and then I'm going to finish. I'm going to turn into a running back and finish. That's how you draw it up. Now, if you're Jordan Leslie, the defensive coordinator for West Virginia, you're going, this is what I've been waiting for out of this athletic and gifted young secondary that I have, that he said he never lost any faith in, despite what happened against Kansas, despite what happened against Pittsburgh. They're playing better here after a shaky start.
4-star player out of Fort Lauderdale, American heritage for Jacoby Spells. And he, like I said, he's keeping that trophy in Morgantown tonight as the West Virginia fans assembled in the upper right corner of the stadium. You can hear Country Roads here in the press box, and it's been an onslaught for their Mountaineers. 17 points in 4 minutes and 37 seconds. And this thing quickly got out of hand in West Virginia. By the way, if the Mountaineers, which it looks like they're going to do, keep that Black Diamond trophy, Lewis, this is the last game between these two rivals on the schedule. So who knows when they'll get an opportunity for this again. But what a showing tonight out of West Virginia.
Yeah, I mean, give them credit. Give them credit. This is a football team that, look, I mean, it's easy to say, well, if a couple of breaks go my way, a team could have more wins than they do have on their schedule. But legitimately, if you objectively look at how this team has played this year, and you look at the Kansas game, you look at the Pitt game, you can see why Neil Brown believes as though this team could easily be undefeated right now. And if you're Virginia Tech and you're Brent Pry, you're thinking, look, I know what our deficiencies are. I know where I have to recruit. I know what kind of players I need to get in here to make this football team better.
Talked about depth and the lack of depth and the player they do want to bring in. They look, as much as any program in the country, Virginia Tech, Lewis, is one of those. You see the pass complete to the outside. It'll be a first down. Hokies. Of most of the programs in the country, Virginia Tech, look, they all want to have a culture, but you know what Virginia Tech's is, inside and out. It's blue collar, it's lunch pail, it's special teams. It's guys who come here that know what you have to be to play football here.
Yeah, look, Brent Pry told us he wants the kind of guys who want to be here.
That ball up in the air, up for grabs, and it falls incomplete.
And you can probably quickly tell what kind of guys want to be here when you bring them in for a visit. And you meet with them and you look them in the eye.
Said he took this job because he knew he could be himself. As you see, Gallo, the intended receiver. Lance Dixon's the one that forced it through.
You want to talk about athletes again. I mean, Lance Dixon, who plays that will linebacker spot for West Virginia. I mean, here you're talking about a 5-star recruit transferred from Penn State. Look, West Virginia has them all over this roster. They have a bunch of really good athletes.
That's a big play for Virginia Tech. Chance Black out of the backfield, getting the first down and a gain of 20. Nasir Cox is upended.
But getting back to what Brent Pry said, look, he wants the kind of guys who want to be here, the kind of guys who embody that lunch pail type of mentality on defense and on offense, to be quite honest with you. And he knows that they have some work to do, and they'll get it done. This team, this program has a lot of tradition, has a lot of pride. I have no doubt he was an impressive guy to talk to in our production meetings. I have no doubt that he'll get it turned around to where he wants it.
Wells just going to throw that away. Pressure by Dixon again. You know, with what they had going offensively early with Wells, and you pointed it out in the first quarter that they were having a lot of success getting their receivers behind the West Virginia secondary. They saw with the touchdown of Caleb Smith, they had a couple of other opportunities. They didn't exploit that long.
Yeah, you know, they didn't, and I also will give West Virginia credit, because a lot of times what happens when you have people getting behind your secondary, especially when you're playing primarily a lot of zone coverage, it's because secondary defenders are looking in the backfield, staring at the quarterback, whether it be because of play action fakes or just lack of discipline, and then people run by it. Clearly, they've gotten that cleaned up, because you haven't seen any deep shots get behind them since then.
Pressure on Wells. He's going to be taken down. Taj Alston on the sack and a loss of 6.
That's just an effort sack on the part of Taj Alston, beating Parker Clements. You see him start upfield and then come back inside and then just flatten down the line of scrimmage. You're going to see him at the top of your screen. He throws the rip. It doesn't work. He swims back inside. Understands where Grant Wells is in the pocket. That's his smart defensive line play. A very smart football snap on the part of Taj Alston, one of their better pass rushers.
And we're showing Jordan Leslie there, defensive coordinator for West Virginia. Give him a lot of credit. He's been under some fire with some of the double-digit leads that have been lost. And you had talked about West Virginia's opportunities in the backyard brawl, certainly against Kansas. They came out tonight and played a good football game when they've had some lapses, penalties, when they didn't need it.
Yeah, look, they settled down is what they did. It started to show a little bit at the end of the first half. Then they kept the momentum going here in the second half. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing when you think about the kind of athletes that they have, that was their first interception of the season that they just took back for the pick 6 by Jacoby Spelt. I mean, maybe it's a sign of things to come for them.
4th and 16. Wells trying to make a play. That's going to be incomplete. West Virginia going to get the ball back.
Timeout on the field.
So we're going to step aside here before JT Daniels and the offense get the ball. I'm going to talk about the Mountaineers and their schedule, what they have in front of them coming up next.
Juliana, Big Mac, no
rivalry. 54th meeting. CJ Donaldson off the left side. West Virginia's largest win at Lane Stadium, 12 points in 1988. It looks as if they are well on their way to eclipsing that tonight, currently leading by 23. C.J. Donaldson has again gone over 100 yards. But up next for West Virginia, they've got the 9 days off because of the beauty of Thursday night football. Then they've got Texas. Now it's time for more Big 12 play. They dropped one against Kansas. You know they want that one back, but the Jayhawks are 3-0. But Lewis, here it comes. It's put up time for West Virginia after this game.
Yeah, I mean, they get into the meat of their schedule. They're starting to hit their stride, though. Look, the strengths of the team coming into the season, or what you thought would have been their strengths, showed up in this game. Okay, the offensive line dominated in this game. The running back rotation dominated.
Is under review. Pencil targeting.
That's what we need with 5:31.
Yeah, I think they're looking at it at Jalen Stroman, number 26. That would be my guess. But no, West Virginia is starting to show what their strengths are. We knew that they had great perimeter players as far as the wide receivers were concerned. You knew the defensive line was strong. The linebacker position was going to continue to develop. It was the secondary, and they, in this second half, have taken a step. Right there, you see Stroman coming in. Oh, it's the crown of the helmet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be easy.
That's what I saw live.
Let's bring in Matt Austin. He's still hanging out with us just because I want to hear Matt Austin's voice. This one should be pretty simple, eh, Austin?
This one checks all the boxes. He lowers his head. He attacks with force. There's an upward thrust. It's got everything. He's gonna be done for the night.
Yeah. You know, these safeties have had to try and tackle these backs all night long. And they've been up to the challenge. They have not backed down. But that's just a clear violation. Something you can't get away with, you won't get away with.
Maybe late in the game, frustration.
Yeah, it all comes into play.
Yeah, you just don't know. But this one's going to be pretty easy.
After review, it is determined personal foul, targeting, number 26, defense. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Credit the officials for that when a flag wasn't thrown on the field in play.
The targeting was with the crown of the helmet.
And so now Stroman at the end of the game, costly, because he'll miss time next week. And it just, from the get-go, it piled on with Virginia Tech early with some of those penalties. 15 penalties, 132 yards.
That's a staggering number
for
Matt.
West Virginia.
Staggering number for Virginia Tech.
Right, and will West Virginia benefit?
Oh, right. Yeah.
You're giving a powerful offense 132 free yards.
You see here, just late in the game, just look at how the offensive line is continuing to block downfield, play with good leverage. And I'll tell you this, Justin Johnson has emerged in this game. He has emerged. Between him and C.J. Donaldson, look.
But
that's a good-looking group.
You're not kidding, because we were talking during the break, talking about how good of a game Johnson had. He came into it with just 19 carries for 62 yards. 4 catches out of the backfield for 29.
He's knocking on the door of 100.
I mean, but he's really separated himself tonight in terms of a second back. Tony Mathis.
And he's not
got the start, 6 carries, 22 yards. But West Virginia now, I mentioned they have Texas coming up next week. Then they've got the bye week. But then you look at what they have in front of them. And you and I have talked about this since the backyard brawl of what we think West Virginia can be. At Texas, then Baylor, Texas Tech. You talk about West Virginia being in the conversation of the Big 12. You're going to know it here in the next 2 weeks with 2 ranked games against Texas and Baylor.
Yeah, you sure will. You'll find out some things about them. It'll be interesting to see how they continue to develop, how the strengths continue to be strengths. This offensive line, the running game, the wide receivers, the quarterback, the defensive line. And if the young secondary can continue to gain confidence, play fast, not have mistakes, prevent big plays, because if they can do all those things, and I know that sounds like a lot, they'll be in every game, regardless of who they play.
Yeah, you and I talking through our first couple of games, we look at each other like, man, this West Virginia football team, they look good coming off the bus.
Sure.
They've got everything.
Sure.
You wanted to wait for them to put it all together.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it unfold before our eyes, right? I mean, we watched the Pitt game. There were some close calls in that game. And Pittsburgh's going to be a good football team. And the Kansas game was interesting from a defensive perspective for West Virginia.
There's Mathis. He's going to get a first down, West Virginia.
Because as tough a game as it was for them defensively, and their coaches admit that, against a unique offense that really presented some things to them that they weren't expecting, admittedly, and really has caught a lot of teams off guard with the way Kansas plays offense now. they still had a chance to win that football game. They still could have won that football game, and the offense played, like they made explosive play after explosive play. And then what they did last week, you expected them to do against an inferior opponent. Now we'll see what they do when they get into the meat of their schedule.
And Lewis, if we wanted to critique a little bit here, there were 2 times in this game they should have had touchdowns.
Sure.
And so, you know, they left 6 on the board a couple of times. But if you're Neil Brown, you win a rivalry, second rivalry game of the season on the road, and you do so in dominating fashion. When we finish up here, Sports Center with Scott Van Pelt. He'll have the latest from the Bronx. Aaron Judge trying to get that Roger Maris record. Key moments and reaction from Steelers-Browns on Thursday Night Football. He's going to reveal his winners for this weekend. And if I know SVP, he's also going to talk day 1 of the President's Cup. Golf action here on a Thursday. SVP Sports Center coming up. We're counting down, about 1:20 left in the game. And it is victory formation for the West Virginia Mountaineers. And what Neil Brown told us this week, if we can just get back to even. And they're going to do that tonight with an impressive performance.
Well, they'll be a fun team to watch the rest of the way. They really will, because they've undeniably have got talent on the football team. And as we've said numerous times here over the past, during this second half, the young secondary needed to develop, needed to mature, needed to play with confidence. They started to do that. That pick 6 by Spells could really be a catalyst for this football team in the secondary, to show them this is what we're capable of doing. And if they can put it all together, you'll be hearing a lot more from this football team.
The record in this series in the battle for the Black Diamond Trophy, now West Virginia 30, 23-1. And we don't know what the future holds for this rivalry. It's the last one scheduled between the 2 schools. But on a night where Bryce Ford Wheaton was held in check, JT Daniels had to go to a couple of other players. Caden Prather relied on the running game. West Virginia gets the win 33-10 here at Lane.